But as we head down the stretch here toward the spring game, you've talked Bo, you've talked Flo. Sewell is obviously a stud, no issue there. What else on this team has you high on 2022, and what are you concerned about?
So the main concern is going to be the defensive line depth. There's not any. There's almost no depth on the defensive line. The only depth you have is freshmen, guys who need developed. There's like some really quality 3-star players, but they're raw. They need developed. They were a 3-star for a reason, because they need coached by these college coaches who can unlock that potential that they have. But for immediate play, there's not a lot of depth along the defensive line. I am excited to see if he plays guys like Dante Manning out there, the freshman Jaleel Florence. I know he's also a freshman, and I just was talking about guys not having in-game experience, but skill positions is a much easier transition than the line. If you're playing on the line of scrimmage, it's a whole different ball game every step up. Skill positions, yes, it's also a different ball game. It's also a different level, but it's a lot simpler to transition than it is for a undersized defensive lineman to transition.
Talking Ducks, we got Mike Black on the line. You can catch him on Hot Mike Podcast, also on Ducks and Dogs Podcast. So what would be the best way to access those two podcasts? Do you go to a particular platform or just follow you on Twitter and you post them?
We got them anywhere you can listen to podcasts: Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, wherever you can get your podcasts. That's where they're going to be at. Ducks and Dogs Podcast, we're recording an episode in about an hour with George Reister from the, well, actually, he played for Oregon, played in the NFL, and now he's a media personality as well.
Yeah, George and I have gone back and forth. We follow each other on Twitter. He's a good guy.
There you go.
Yeah, so Ducks and Dogs. A lot of people across the country don't understand, even know about, even I'm talking college football fans. I'm not just talking about somebody that watches the playoffs or the Rose Bowl. Talking about serious college football fans don't really understand the magnitude, and it's more the animosity between Washington and Oregon. They think Oregon State. I'll put myself in that category before talking to guys like you and a number of other Washington and Oregon people here in the last 5 or 10 years that I've grown to realize, okay, these people don't like each other.
Yeah. And just to make a note of the Oregon State, I don't even consider Oregon State a rival. Like, I have no animosity towards them. I know you've
said that. I don't agree with you. I know you're the Oregon guy.
11 weeks out of the year.
And I should not, of course, even have an opinion in the deal, because you're an Oregon guy. I'm just a national guy looking in, but it's Oregon State. It's the Civil War. It has been. I know that name's been pushed to the side, but that's what we grew up with. And I would guess nationally,
they would
if you asked who Oregon's rival is, that would be the first answer. That would get the most votes, Oregon State.
Yeah, I think, especially if you talk to the older Duck fans who, weren't, they went through Oregon's struggles when Oregon was just competing with Oregon State, and that was about the only team we were competing with in the Pac-12 for a while. But for people of my age, mid-20s, it's Oregon State has won a handful of games, maybe Washington too at that point, but there's just been a lot more animosity with Washington because they have history over us. Oregon State is just, it's always been, hey, yeah, cool. They won 3 games. Nice. Love that. Good job. Maybe you can go to a bowl game next year.